Yes, sir. We back with another video. We back with another reaction video. We got top 10 underrated cartoons of the 2000s. I'm a huge cartoon fan. Whether it's Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, Disney, I'm big on cartoons, bro. I'm not gonna say I watch every single cartoon, but I love cartoons, bro. Like now, no matter how old I get, I will always love cartoons. But let's get straight to the video.
Cartoons
No
are coming and
talking.
going all the time. A show you may hate could last for seasons, while at the same rate a cartoon you love gets cancelled way too soon. That's just the industry for you. It's not perfect, but for the most part it works. And
Hold
besides
on.
maybe like The Simpsons, most shows eventually end. Depending on the show's popularity at the time and the fan base, it's either highly revered and remembered, or it fades into obscurity, never to be remembered again. But sometimes there's a really good cartoon that's cancelled way too soon or never has the fan base it deserves.
My stocks aren't doing so good.
Today we're talking about the underrated side of the animation industry. The shows that were really great but didn't get the praise they deserved. You may see some of these and go, oh, I remember that. I know I did while writing this list. Just a few rules and clarifications before we start. This isn't some quintessential list. This is mostly my personal opinion.
I need to see
More attention.
there's some shows a lot of people don't know about, but I feel like I know about them. And they were actually good shows, but they got
I'm not
canceled.
trying to rip anyone else off. I just wanted to
I
do
hope
my
I see some
take on
like
this video.
shows that I know a lot of people don't know about.
Cartoon Network has had its fair share of underrated short-lived cartoons, but one I remember really loving, even to this day, is Robot Boy. Holy cow, this cartoon was cool. Tommy
Have I
was
seen
a
this?
10-year-old kid
I think I've
who was
seen
a
this.
fan of the super scientist, Professor Moshimo. Professor Moshimo invented Robot Boy, but in fear of it being stolen by
Yo, I think I've seen this. I'm being so serious. I think I've seen this. On everything, I think I've seen it. I probably wasn't into it, but I think I've seen it a few
I'm
times.
not sure. But it was a great concept for a cartoon. Robot Boy is a super powerful cyborg whose main draw is that he has 3 advanced stages he can go into, each one making him more powerful than the last. Seeing the transformations were so cool to me as a kid. I love this show. Tommy had 2 friends, Lola and Gus.
Yeah, I remember this. I remember watching this.
The show's main villain is Dr. Kamikaze. He's the short, grumpy supervillain genius that's always trying to get Robot Boy. One thing I never understood is if he's super smart, then why doesn't he just make his own Robot Boy? The amount of time he spends going after this poor 10-year-old is nothing compared to the time he could spend researching the technology. But hey, I'm just some guy on YouTube, what do I know? This show was funny and full of surprisingly good action. It was made in the UK, Paris, and France, and was shown in America as part of CNN's cool extreme new action blog. The show had a lot of Japanese influence, especially in Professor Moshimo and Dr. Kamikaze. It also had really cool art styles that totally screamed early 2000s cartoons. Everything was kind of curvy and utopian in a really cool way. But unfortunately, barely anyone talks about this show, and I'm not even sure how many people know about it. That's why Robot Boy starts off this list.
Sorry, bro. You know we can't risk anyone seeing you.
Robot Boy will never have any fun.
The original Ben 10 was a great show, and that's thanks to the great team.
Now they got that funky ass Ben 10 now. I don't even remember what it looked like, but I know it's funky.
Ben 10 TV shows, but in 2010 they decided to try their hand out at a brand new property, a brand new show, and that show was the high concept action comedy that is Generator Rex.
Yo, Generator Rex was the shit, bro, on everything.
Oh, and it only
Bro, that shit, yo. And it was coming out with new like type of mechanics for him, like new transformation mechanics and shit. Like, they were fire, bro. The storyline was fire too.
This is thanks to a mysterious explosion.
Fire, bro. Everything was fire, bro.
So basically, some guy could be chilling in a grocery store, and the next second he turns into a horrifying monster.
Word.
Providence was invented to combat these things, and that's where Rex comes.
Yeah, that's
He has the power to control his nanites and transform them into machinery.
Yeah.
He also has the unique power to cure mutants and turn them back into humans, which makes him pretty much the most important person in the entire world. Sadly, Rex has no memories of his past, so Providence is the only family he has. The show is mainly about Rex taking down infected humans and curing them, all while battling the ever-growing villain that is Van Plyce. He's a person who's trying to take over the entire world with his mutants. Throughout the series, more is revealed about Rex's past and what happened with the nanites, so if you like a developing mystery, then you're gonna get it. Generator Rex is a show that can sometimes get a little campy, with his sidekick being an actual talking monkey, but overall it has great action, character writing, and plot so incredibly original and interesting that it's hard to believe it's talked about as little as it is. I mean, come on guys, where's my Generator Rex fandom man? Sadly, this show slowly faded away by 2013 with an actual satisfying planned ending. Despite Despite the small buzz, Rex is definitely worth checking out.
I make right, but what I do.
And they need to bring that back, bro. They need to bring Generator X, like a reboot or something,
Lights out.
like how they doing with the Boondocks, like a reboot.
Everyone is familiar with Gendy Tartakovsky's other cartoons, those being Dexter's Lab and the recently rebooted Samurai Jack. However, few know of his other cartoon, the non-renewed Symbiotic Titan.
Yo, Symbiotic Titan. Yo, I remember, bro. I was actually on top of every single episode of Symbiotic Titan, bro. I was fucking with it so much. How they came from like spacing, they came from spacing it down to Earth, and then they tried to like do the whole kind of like high school, like normal teenage living lifestyle, like, bro. That was fire, bro. Yo, the fucking fire, bro.
Until things are better, which means going to American high school and being real live humans in our
Yo,
the show was half about
shit was
them.
fire,
All of
bro.
them goes in different outfits, and
I don't
half
know
of them
why
have
they
that
stopped,
monster
bro.
that comes from their
And the
home.
fighting scenes were,
On their own, they
yo,
love the super
close to
characters.
anime. I'm not gonna lie.
Really starts going
Not
down,
that
and
close,
they're
but
back against the wall.
it's
They can form the cyber
it's
megabot
close.
known as Symbiotic
Like the
Titan.
fighting is not like a
That
regular like
references
cartoon
here
fight.
Mostly to early robot anime and cartoons like
Yeah.
Gundam and even a hit of Transformers, especially with the transformation sequences. The only gripe I have about the show is there's a lot of early 2010s television CGI that doesn't exactly age well. Other than that, the writing and the action and characters are all amazing. So why is it on the list? Well, I know that Symbiotic Titans is a really popular show, despite its short lifespan. Most people see it more as a show that was canceled too soon. The reason it has such a short lifespan is because of pure cash money. Action shows like this rely heavily on toy sales. Look at counterparts like Ben 10. That show had seemingly endless toys. It made tons of money.
Yeah.
At the end of season 1, Symbiotic Titan just wasn't able to make a merchandising deal. Because of the lack of toys, Cian pulled the plug and the show sadly ended after just one season. Gandhi said he had big plans for the series if it went on, and we'd most likely see great things come from it. But as the years went on, buzz of the show grew greater and greater, and it became a cult classic. So while it may not be completely underrated, I still put it on this list because of its cancellation and the fact that it still has been brought back. It was canceled for merchandise reasons, but
Nah, I feel like that show's
shows
underrated.
rely less heavily on toy sales and still can have action and story. Just look at Steven Universe. I haven't seen many Steven Universe action figures out recently, but look at all it does have. T-shirts, backpacks, vinyl records. Imagine Symbiotic Titan with a reach like this. And with Samurai Jack's recent reboot, this is the best time ever to bring back the show. So people, petition online, write to Cartoon Network and Adult Swim. We need more Symbiotic Titan. It's worth it.
No.
Remember the Book of Life, that incredible animated movie that received both critical acclaim
Never
and
seen it.
commercial success? Well, the man behind it, Jorge Gutierrez, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, is an animator who, before the movie, had his own show on Nickelodeon. LT Gray, The Legend of Manny Rivera. The show centered on Manny, a kid with superpowers.
LT Gray's not underrated.
That he flips to become LT Gray.
Bro, everybody know what LT Gray is, bro. Everybody knows what LT Gray is, bro.
Cartoon.
That show's not underrated. That show's not
See, his
underrated. I'm
dad
sorry.
is a famous superhero, White Pantera.
White
but his
Pantera
grandpa
and
was a
Puma
villain.
Loco.
Together, they both
Bro,
fight
come
over
on. That
Manny's
show's not
character, they
underrated.
share their different morals with him and ultimately try to make him either a hero or a villain. For instance, in one episode, Manny wants a soccer team to win.
That
the
was
league,
tough about the
even
show,
it
though.
goes non-stop.
You have one side of the family trying to make him a hero, and the other side of the family trying to make him a villain. That's tough.
This kind of dynamic is what the show centers around. I honestly feel bad for Manny.
And then he's just in the process of choosing if he wants to be a hero or a villain. Like, that's hard, bro. That's a hard, like, concept.
It's horrible. The show was hilarious. The comedy on par with early 2000s SpongeBob. On top of that, it's a super original concept that should have lasted way longer than it did. I
Yeah.
remember wanting his belt so bad as a kid. It just looked so cool. And his Mexican influences and style was something we just didn't get enough of on television at the time. So it was really cool seeing the culture depicted in such a normal way. El Tigre sadly only lasted one season and faded into pretty much a...
One season?
People need to be talking about this show.
It was really one season. I feel like it was longer. They must have been doing like hella reruns. I remember watching that shit like crazy. That shit was always popping up. Yeah, they had to do like mad reruns.
I remember back in elementary school days, back when I still made an attempt to read, I was obsessed with the Wayside School book series. The book
No idea
series
what that
Wayside
is.
School
I have no
was
idea
not
what
so
that is.
normal place that honestly
I don't know what that
isn't
is.
safe for kids at all. The school ended up being 30 stories high, an error caused by the construction team who misinterpreted the blueprints to make a school that was 1 story high and 30 stories long. With a plot as crazy as that, it's hard to believe that the books wouldn't have inevitably been adapted into a cartoon. Sure enough, in 2005, we got Wayside hour-long TV special books in the books. Later in 2007, it was adapted into the television
I
show
remember
Wayside.
that
Both series have the same plot, so
cartoon.
I'll basically be talking about
Nigga.
the same thing.
That,
The main show
bro.
centers around Todd,
Oh
Wayside.
my god.
A new kid at Wayside School. Todd is a normal
For
everyday
me,
kid
when
who
I was
is
watching it,
balanced
it will
all
always
the
come
way
on in the
through
morning.
school. A lot of the
Like
comedy
right
here
before,
shows
like
up
right when I was
on
getting
Jack
ready
and
for
Rose
school,
Banks
that's
songs.
what would be
The
going.
kids of Wayside School
It was a time
Todd
period when that show
and the
came out.
audience
It would
is
come out in the
absolutely
morning,
insane.
and that's
This is
what,
a good way
and
to
it
get
was
the
a new
audience
episode, and
used to
that's
the
what would be
show
on.
so
And
that everything is
I would
easy
not
to
miss
follow.
it.
Every
I
floor of
fuck
Wayside
with that
School
show
has different
heavy.
backgrounds and locations. There are plenty of other main characters.
It was. I remember it was in the morning. I come out the bathroom. I switched to the channel. I don't remember what channel it was on, but I switched to the channel, and that show would be on.
There's also Lewis, a
And I'll be
janitor
getting
yard
dressed
teacher
while
guy who's
watching that
actually
show.
based on the author, as he used to work at an elementary school as a yard keeper for college credit. By
Damn,
far
why
the
did they
funniest
cancel
character,
it, bro?
however,
This show was
is
so
Suicide Squad. His
fire.
name may allude to physical abuse, but
Way
Lewis
better than
is
no
dedicated
cartoons
to
now,
no
bro.
care for the students of the school. He just refers to Todd as his home address because he doesn't care enough to know his real name. A joke that still makes me laugh out loud to this day. Sadly, Wayside ended in 2008 after just 2 seasons. It's so sad to see a show like this get cut so early on. Seriously, this
For
show is
real.
genuinely funny. The humor here is really smart. I rewatched it for this list and found myself enjoying it.
I might have to
maybe even
rewatch
more than
it.
I did as a kid. Most of the episodes are on YouTube, guys. Please give this show a watch. Out of all the shows on my list, I think I recommend this one the most.
You tossed my desk out the window just to see how fast it would fall?
Why, of course, dear. It was Science Day.
Before Discovery Family, even before The Hub, there was another channel, Discovery Kids. Arguably, maybe the worst out of the 3. I mean, they did cancel it after all. This is the channel I grew up with and loved the most. The shows range from a cartoon about a talking shark to reality shows like Trading Spaces, Boys vs. Girls. However, one show really stood out to me as a kid, and that show was Time Warp Trio. The series was based off a book series that I never really read. I was, however,
I don't think I know this
completely obsessed
show.
with the The plot centered on Joe.
Yeah, I don't know this show. I've never seen this show. I don't know what that show is. I've never seen it. I really want to skip over it just because I never seen it. I want to relive my childhood, not child.
The book, as it's referred to in the series, can take Joe to any point in history, leading to all sorts of wacky adventures. An interesting addition is that they meet their great-great-great-great-great-grandchildren, Jody Smith and
Word.
Brady, who end up becoming main characters with them. No lanyard or anything.
I don't care what that show
The show
is.
had a
It's
really
not
cool
my childhood, so I
concept.
don't
A
get
chance to
it.
be something really great. They were like legitimately building up. a
Bro,
world.
it's
I mean, it
the show's not in my childhood, so don't
Who
care.
lives in magical woods,
don't care.
Ed has 2 friends, Fee and Foo. Fee and Foo often push Harvey out of his comfort zone and into adventure.
I've never
They
seen
do
this.
things that he never would have done otherwise. And to see if
This
there
was
are
probably when I
ten
stopped
star
watching
plots and
cartoons.
story
When
arcs,
I
Harvey
what?
beats
No. This is probably when I
It was
gave
a
up on
simple
cartoons.
cartoon about a happy little bird. It was full of heart
Yeah, this is
and
probably when I
bad
gave.
love
This
for
is probably
the
like
but sadly, the
after
show
I
just doesn't
gave
get the
up
attention it deserves. It had a pretty
on
large following
cartoons
online, and people
nowadays.
know
They
about
couldn't get it right no
watch
more.
but I
They
don't know
fucked
if
up. They
Todd
started
was
going into
down.
some weird shit.
It all started when Nickelodeon moved it from Nick to Nicktoons, which if anyone is familiar with
Yeah, I
Nick,
don't
they know this is
remember.
basically
If y'all remember that show, yeah.
inevitably,
Yeah, I still watch cartoons now, I
Pony?
guess. 'Cause that must be a
The
new
one that was
cartoon.
hilarious and barely talked about anymore was Dan Versus. The show was built around
Damn,
Dan.
I thought it was Dan
Angry
versus
would do
Dan.
Just about everything. Every episode, some crazy.
I remember this
crazy
show.
thing happened to Dan.
It's not. I don't think it's Dan
Literally
versus. I
way
think it's
more
Dan
makes
versus
sense.
Dan,
Doing
something like
everything in
that.
his power from there on out to get payback for.
I remember this. Nah, this show was tough. That show was tough, bro.
Baseball
That show was
ninjas
tough.
to family cruises. The comedy comes from
I remember
just
it
how
would come on
natural
after
His
school,
plans get more convoluted and
like
complicated
around
as the
like
episodes
5
go on.
o'clock, like
Kidnapping,
5,
breaking,
6
and
o'clock.
entering,
That's when it'll
nothing
come
is off
on.
limits for Dan when he
Like
gets
every
there.
new episode,
He
like
also
around
works with
4,
his
4,
friends,
5, or
his
6.
wife, and just
Every
friends.
every new
That's
episode.
fun to watch. Why it was canceled was never made abruptly clear. I mean, the show was canceled the same year it won an Emmy. It makes no sense. Curtis Armstrong, the voice of Dan, said, "Occasionally, I would ask about the status of the show and be told that it wasn't canceled. But when I asked about specifics, there would be long, awkward pauses and then changes to other subjects. This is actually not uncommon in my business. Things just sort of fade away with a noticeable absence of closure. You can't help dwelling on it for a time, but eventually the whole thing just becomes a sort of fragrant memory." It's sad
Bro,
to see a show
they
like
need to
this
reboot that
theatrical.
show. They need to bring that show
Definitely
back,
have a
bro.
following and rightly
That show was
so. In
fire.
2017, I barely hear
Or
mention
just
of
do it
it.
on
It's
YouTube
funny,
or
original,
something.
and most of all, different than other shows. Makes me sad to think I won't see swarms of people walking around in jerk t-shirts, and sadly, this show may be destined as just a cult classic.
My car! Bedazzled! Pinkie Pie!
Yeah, he has anger issues.
You're welcome.
Dan vs. Dan was fire, bro.
Speaking of already established cult classics, few people remember the Phil Lord Chris Miller animated project before the Lego Movie, Clone High. This show aired on MTV in 2003.
I don't know this show.
Teenage
Never
film
seen it.
full of reincarnations of historical figures. Abraham
I seen
Lincoln,
this. Hold on. I seen that cartoon before.
The show was a parody of teenage dramas that were big during that time.
Yeah, if y'all know that show,
We
yeah.
need as much
Not my
support
child,
as
so
we
we're
can.
skipping over it. Only care about my child.
Okay, but the standout show was definitely Code Lyoko. This action
Go Lyoko. Oh yeah, I seen that. I seen it again too. They got on Netflix.
I enjoyed every
I
second.
finished it.
The show centered around a bunch
I had to watch it again. When I heard they got on Netflix, I had to watch it again. I had
The
to.
basement is a supercomputer housing Lyoko, a massive virtual world that the kids can enter freely.
Yeah, this show was hard, bro. If y'all ain't see this, I'm sorry, bro. You are not watching good shows, yo. If you haven't seen this, you are not watching good shows. Cause this was fire, bro. Gotta be top 10. Top 10. Definitely my top 10.
Trapped inside the computer world, who eventually is brought back into the real world. That's what set Code Lyoko apart. Even though most episodes followed a similar formula, the show ended up having an overarching and developing plot. The characters change and they face real-world consequences, like the character Will, who starts out normal and ends up getting corrupted by Xana. They also explore more of Lyoko, and they get a cool ship, and
Man, the animations were dope too. It wasn't like a cartoon. Like sometimes it was like an actual anime.
Being the only one to watch it. Regardless, the show was great, and it even had an actual ending that wrapped everything up nicely. Everyone remembers it, but no one talks about it or praises it as much as they should. So if you haven't seen Code Lyoko, I highly recommend it. Oh shit, they made a reboot. Well guys, that about wraps up.
They did?
Even if not all these shows are remembered or praised as much today, they still are in my heart.
Or is that the Netflix? Nah, Netflix one wasn't a
But seriously
reboot.
guys, please check these shows out if they seem interesting to you.
Or is that what reboot
And
means?
it's so
Maybe I just don't know the
Is there
definition of
something I
reboot.
missed, or just didn't include in there?
But that's the end of the vid. That's the end of the reaction. Hopefully you enjoyed this vid. Man, hey, I love cartoons and I will always love cartoons. I ain't even watched the episode, but just looking at it just gave me like some really great memories. I might have to, I'm not gonna lie. Wayside High, I might have to, or I said Wayside High. What was it? Wayside, I might have to go on YouTube and watch that, bro. Because I remember that show. And Dan vs. Dan. I might have to go back on YouTube and watch Dan vs. Dan. Yeah, hopefully you like this content. If you do like this content, hit that subscribe button so I can post more. Sorry I didn't post the last couple days. Obviously I'm in school, so school stuff, comes up. Boom. But I'm still trying to get an upload for y'all. If you did enjoy this video, go ahead, hit that thumbs up button. You go ahead, comment down below as well. I respond almost instantaneously. Go ahead. We could chat it up. We could talk. We could chop it up. And follow me on Instagram. Where's your Instagram, bro? Where's your Instagram, Isaiah? Bro, you didn't know? My Instagram is in the link in the description down below. And I'm out. Peace.